Хорошая компания, видите, как встречаешься потом в хороших местах.
Ukrainischen Parlaments und jetzt auch EU-Beauftragter. Aber ich sehe, dass doch sehr viele Kolleginnen und Kollegen danke Ihnen, dass Sie sich zu Ehren der Verstorbenen erhoben haben.
We are in a completely different mentality and a completely different development. We all understand that we deal with clearly with Russian-backed terrorists. And we also deal with export of terrorism, because in the recent weeks, what we had is just the continuous inflow of weapons and weaponry, is just continuous cases of shelling on Ukrainian territory from the Russian territory.
Until the bodies will have left the area, we will refrain from putting the responsibility for this tragedy with any individual group. Needless to say that we are deeply shocked by the rude, cruel way the bodies have been treated by separatists at the site.
Und dass nach diesen Untat weitere Waffen hinüberkommen. Heute Nacht, wie ich höre, etwa 20 Panzer und gepanzerte Fahrzeuge. Das heißt, nicht mehr dieses zum Stoppen einer Invasion, anderen Begriff kann man bald nicht mehr dafür zeichnen, fortführen wird, bedeutet für mich, dass wir in eine Situation hineinkommen, dass Glaubwürdigkeit des russischen Präsidenten im hohen Zweifel gezogen werden muss.
The question that hovers, of course, in this room is whether the EU will stand united, finally, to speak with one voice to make sure that justice is done. And the outcome of the Council, of course, let's not fool ourselves, is just a small first step. If it's your child, your husband, or your wife that died on that plane, the question that you ask yourself first is why? And this is a question that we can't answer. But what makes me angry as a politician is that people in the Netherlands also ask me, how come, when we are waiting for 300 bodies to come back to the Netherlands, there are at the same time 400 Russians being trained in France to operate the latest warships? And this is a question, as a politician, that I can't answer and that makes me mad. And this is what Europe has to face up to at this time.
Es geht einen Waffenstillstand, den wir sofort haben müssen. Wir wissen, dass das ohne russische Unterstützung kaum durchsetzbar ist. Und die Grenze zu Russland muss für solche Waffen geschlossen sein.
Putin has to stop. He has to stop the rebels. Without Russia, no rebels. And he has to abide by international law. You can't change borders as he has tried to do. And so I'm afraid that we, as European Union, as member states, together with the United States and the international community, have to introduce new sanctions. We can talk, but then Putin will say, okay, I wait a moment to advance again.
It's about closing the border. It's about bold actions from the European Union, not just about sanctions. What about, for supplying weapons? What about supplying high technologies to Russia? Why it's still possible to go on a number of different areas? Why we are still talking about in the mentality of free wave of sanction, 1, 2nd, 3rd? It's about redefining the whole tactical strategy, and it's my request to you.
Back under control, under its control. What kind of concrete assistance you are waiting?
Still remain fundamental questions about us, Europe. And number one, it's to be immediately stopped. It's ridiculous to speak about sanctions against Russia.
It was a very broad cross-party understanding that this is a game changer. Russia has gone too far. Russia has to stop now any arms supply and supply of personnel and training to the separatists. And all of us see that these innocent people in the civilian plane are victims of a policy which is against the country directed. This is a way of war which is not, cannot be accepted. Es gab eine breite fraktionsübergreifende Auffassung, dass diese Position, die Russland jetzt einnimmt, Waffen zu transportieren in die Ostukraine, personell Personen auszubilden und den Krieg dort anzureizen. Und dass dieses dazu geführt hat, dass zivile Maschinen mit so vielen Menschen umgekommen sind, dass daraus jetzt die Konsequenz gezogen werden muss, dass Russland diese Politik aufgeben muss, dass mit mehr Sanktionen zu rechnen hat und dass man nicht mehr glaubt, dass Russland mit seinen Versprechungen es wirklich ernst meint.